Hi, I'm Paul from the Studio Rats. Today we're going to be looking at how to record using the Boss Tube Amp Expander Core. Now, if you know the channel, you know what a massive fan I am of load boxes and attenuators. I can't record a loud guitar cabinet in this room because I haven't got the space. So what I do when I'm recording and even YouTube videos is to mainly use attenuators. Attenuators allow you to turn the amp up to its optimum level, which you'd never be able to have in a room like this, and then monitor that level either through your interface or with something like the Boss Tube Amp Expander is actually control the level of the amplifier going to the speaker in the room. So what I'm doing today is I've got my Tube Amp Expander plugged in via USB to my computer, and I'm using the Tube Amp Expander as my interface. So all the tones that you're hearing today are coming straight from the Tube Amp Expander straight into my computer. The amplifier I'm going to be using today is my Tube Workshop 2864S. This amp is a 14 watt amp. It's very loud, trust me, but it hasn't got an effects loop. So all of the sounds that I'm going to be getting today are going to be using the effects inside the Tube Amp Expander. Now, enough of me waffling on. The amplifier sounds like this. Now, I love this amplifier. It is absolutely fantastic for recording, and you get those really nice glassy sort of AC tones out of it. Now, that amplifier is plugged into the Tube Amp Expander, so all the tones you're hearing are just coming from that amplifier straight into the Tube Amp Expander going into my DAW. One of the great things about the Tube Amp Expander Core is it comes with an app, so you can connect it via Bluetooth to your phone, to your iPad, to your tablet, or even to your computer. Now, the tone that we're going to be working with is this. It's a cleanish sort of tone, just on the verge of breakup, which is normally how I record anyway. Now, inside the app we can change loads of different things. First of all, let's change that microphone to a 421. 421 gives a bit more body to the sound, it loses that sort of harsh top end that you get from a 57. And because we can use two mics here, let's turn this condenser mic on as well. So I'm getting all the body from the 421 and all the top end sort of sizzle and brightness from the condenser mic. Now, for this song, I want to record with effects. So let's go into the editor, and I'm going to turn on the delay and the reverb that I've programmed, and it sounds like this. And let's record the first part. Now, for the second guitar part, I'm going to use a different guitar, and I'm going to use a different preset. I'm going to turn this one on here. The Tube Amp Expander Core can store 10 different presets, which we can either access from the front of the unit or via the app. Now, for this part, I'm going to be using a different microphone. You can see I've chosen the Ribbon 121 on here. I want this to be like an 80s sort of sound. I want it to be really compressed. So what I'm going to do first of all is to turn the compressor on. Now, I'd normally have my guitar plugged into a compressor pedal, but what we can do here is to have like a studio style compressor. So we've got the amplifier plugged into the Tube Amp Expander, and then the Tube Amp Expander after the amplifier and after the speaker modeling is going to be compressing. Now, if we go back to the cab selection, what I've got here is this really great sort of sounding 80s compression. Now, another great feature here is this mix assistant. What the mix assistant does is remove all of the frequencies that you don't really need when you're recording. So it's reducing all the low frequencies and reducing all the high frequencies to get them away from other instruments such as bass guitar, guitar, and also the sort of top instruments, maybe vocals, cymbals, that sort of thing. Now, initially when you switch this on, it does sound a bit thin, but what this enables you to do is to make that guitar part fit really nicely in the mix without a lot of effort. Now again, I'm going to turn on the delay and reverb, and it sounds like this. And let's record part 2. Part 3, I've changed guitar again. I haven't changed any of the settings on the amplifier, so I'm just using the different sounds that I'm getting from 3 different guitars. It's the equivalent of sort of switching pickups, but you get the idea. This guitar sounds different to the Strat as it does to the James Tyler guitar. Now again, what I'm going to do with this sound is to change the 57 to a 421. I never really like SM57s, to be honest. I always think a 421 sounds better. It's got a bit more fullness. Now with this part, I'm going to use the air fill. The air fill creates a sort of a in the room sort of sound. So imagine your speaker being sort of 10, 15, 20 feet away from you, and the natural reverb from that room is coming through the microphone as well. So if I exaggerate that, it's a really authentic sounding room sound. And again, I'm going to turn on the mixer system. Now what I want from this part is a really big reverb and delay. So if I turn the reverb on, it sounds like this. And the delay as well. Now this part is all about single notes and getting away from the other guitar parts. So let's record that part. So there you go. As I said, that was one amplifier plugged into the Tube Amp Expander core. Now, all the differences from those tones are all coming from the Tube Amp Expander core. So all the effects and the EQ differences are actually inside the Tube Amp Expander core. Now, the Tube Amp Expander, since it arrived at the studio, has become my go-to load box to plug into. It does so much, and it's one of those indispensable studio and even live guitar devices that I don't think I could do without anymore. Anyway, I really hope you guys got something out of this. If you did get something out of it, don't forget to like and subscribe, click on the bell button, and you'll be notified of any future video that comes out from the Studio Rats. I'm Paul, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.